Um, Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Reed, and this is my community projects presentation called Unlearning Gender. First, I would like to introduce three influencers that inspired me to do this project. They gave me the confidence to be more open with myself, and I would like to briefly introduce them. The left photo is a picture of Patrick Star. Patrick Star is a Filipino-American YouTuber and makeup artist who seeks to challenge certain stigmas surrounding men wearing makeup. Quoted by them, makeup has no gender and shouldn't have one. The right photo. Laverne Cox. Laverne Cox is an American actress and LGBTQIA advocate. In June 2014, Cox became the first transgender person to appear on the cover of Time magazine. The middle image. Shara Ellis. Shara Ellis is a queer model, content creator, and the founder of Girls Will Be Boys. Girls Will Be Boys is an online platform blurring the lines between gender roles by creating an open discussion exploring modern ideas of femininity, masculinity, through content creation. My second slide. My second slide is Who is Zai Wilder? My project incorporated interview with Zai Wilder, a non-binary trans environmental social justice activist. Short clips from our discussion will be shown later in the presentation. And then third slide, BLM, also known as Black Lives Matter. What was the beginning of my project like, and how did I come up with the topic involving gender? In the early stages of my project, I was inspired on unpacking racial injustice and racism. BLM had sparked my awareness of the world and helped me become a more educated individual. I wanted to focus my project on racial injustice and stories that were simply not told to the fullest extent. What I want when talking about racism in the past and the history is really a deep dive into what really happened, the truth. What I was getting felt too simplistic and undermined the Black struggle that we were going through every day. It wasn't reaching the core of the problem and still, till this day, feels rushed like a flippable book. I later discovered that I couldn't and I was unprepared. I was afraid to talk about racism, even though I was passionate and ready to speak up my mind. I feared people wouldn't understand, wouldn't care about the subject, which would have been too painful for me. The fourth slide. Um, Gender flexibility. What I learned from my interview. Terms such as gender fluid and non-binary caught my attention. These two terms are gender identity terms that helped me in my self-journey. Gender fluidity. Um, Gender fluidity helped me express myself a little bit more. It means a person's gender is fluid and moves between masculine and feminine in a simplistic form. To me, this means that sometimes I can feel masculine, sometimes I can feel feminine, and sometimes I can just feel in the middle. This is a feeling that can change independent on the circumstances and plays an essential role in my self-expression. Non-binary or genderqueer was a bit of confusing. It can have many meanings depending on the person who uses it, but what it means is a gender identity that is neither male nor female identities outside of the gender non-binary. Non-binary identities can fall under the transgender umbrella since many non-binary people identify themselves with a gender that is different from the assigned sex. My fourth slide. What are gender norms? Gender norms are constructs that society created to enforce binary thinking and behavior. This can hurt people from informing their unique identities and who they are. It is a mindset that is outdated, and I think that my generation is much more open to deconstructing gender norms and better understanding that gender can be fluid and can change. As a part of my research, I interviewed Zai Wilder, a 33-year-old social justice activist from Los Angeles. Zai shared with me that they did not have many role models, nor did they have a community to connect with. It was isolating for them, and they felt trapped when they were younger. They shared that the non-binary or trans people that they knew got killed, committed suicide, or a laughingstock. When they moved to Los Angeles, they found a community, and it was exciting to connect with people who understood them. My product is an edited interview with I. My sixth slide, gender identities. I just decided I would research a topic that I have been personally struggling with, gender identity and gender norms. I was always told, don't talk like a girl, man up, or you can't choose that color. That's a girl's color. To me, these were constructs that were enforced by society through often violent means to control people. The root of the need to control was fear because we now know that gender and sexuality is fluid. And then my seventh slide. These are just two clips of me and Zai's interview, mine and Zai's interview, and I would like to share them with you today. So here it goes. But I have another question for you. I have a couple, so I'm sorry if it's like really long. I
No
wanted.
worries. Yeah, I got time.
What is your perspective on gender norms, and do you think it has like a negative impact on people or a positive, or if it has both? So I just wanted to hear your whole view on it. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, so I think, gosh, it's really unfortunate. I think that gender is a social construct, and like when we're able to deconstruct gender, we will realize that like there's a whole spectrum or continuum
Yeah.
of different flavors, and we're all okay. We're all capable people or whatever. But like for too long, I feel like there's there's like toxic masculinity and patriarchy. And if you look at societies who have respected like matriarchs and the divine feminine, like those are the healers. Those are the ones who can like, really have a thriving community with abundant food. And then if you start to veer toward like patriarchy and dominance and competition instead of
Yeah.
collaboration, then you have war and you have poverty and inequality. And so it's it's wild to see like how people who can physically like assert their dominance over others have done so and not respected people's autonomy, like women or whoever. Like autonomy is your ability to be free and not controlled by another person.
Yeah.
And so you see like a lot of heteronormative, cisgender, white, European
Yeah.
colonizer males,
Exactly.
men who will bully and beat on people to get their way.
Yeah.
And that is so toxic.
And now I have a second video to show you. Okay, I'll just play it.
It's so good to hear you like recognize that there's nothing wrong with you and that like culture and society, they have preconceived ideas that they just need to like unlearn.
Yeah. All right. I would like to talk a little bit about this part. What are preconceived ideas? If you have preconceived ideas about something, you have already informed an opinion about it before you have enough information or experience. We all start with preconceived ideas of what we want from life. And then I would like to move to my next slide. Be true to yourself. Finally, from a person who hasn't had much support and space in the past to be comfortable with who they are, I want people to break free from these old mindsets and allow themselves to be who they are, or be who they envision themselves to be. To be comfortable with who you are and not to be scared to wear what you want, act how you want to act how you want, and be who you want to be. These are struggles that everyone's going through, but I want to be the first person to say that you are seen. I hear that pain and the hardship when no one's noticing, and I care and you are valid. Because discovering yourself because discovering yourself and going through that overwhelming journey with finding yourself is one of the most important processes in your life. I would finally want to thank all the participants that helped me forge my presentation. Zai Wilder, Miss Diana, Miss Vanessa, Mr. Morgan, Mr. Mac. And finally, thank you for listening to my presentation. Be true to who you are.